Okay, guys. Hey, how are you doing? I am on my third time around with this particular message, and I'm going to make it as brief as possible. And this time it's working. The red light's on. I'm in focus, and whatever else went wrong last time, it's good to go. All right, this time I want to talk about wisdom. Wisdom. All right, so really quick, I'm in Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 12. Listen up. He says here, a wise, shrewd person discerns the danger ahead. I want to talk about that. And prepares himself. But the naive simpleton never looks ahead and suffers the consequences. Which one are you? Are you seeing the danger ahead? And what do I mean when I'm talking about the danger? If I was in one camp, I would be talking about COVID. If I was in another camp, I would be thinking about something else. And I want to talk about something else. We're talking about wisdom. And by the way, part of wisdom, when we're talking about, I'm reading from the Word, and some people would think that this scripture only deals with, in Ephesians 5 and verse 8, you would think that this is just talking about the gospel. I don't believe that. And so I'll explain that as I go on here. That verse in itself says that we look ahead. We see danger ahead. Okay, so that's talking about life. That's talking about real stuff. And so I want to talk about real stuff really quick here. So I'm going to really talk fast. For you were once darkness, Christian, but now you are light. I threw that word Christian in there. You were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. You were once a sinner, now you are a saint. Okay, your nature, who you are. Who are you? You are light. What does that mean? He says, you're a light in the Lord, therefore live as children of light, for the fruit of light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth. I want to focus in on the truth part here today and find out what pleases the Lord with all these issues that we're dealing with when it comes to mandates and all of that. Vaccine mandates. What pleases the Lord? What do you have faith for? To get vaccinated? Well, then get the vaccine if you have faith for that. Do you have faith to not be vaccinated? Then don't get vaccinated, because that's where your faith is. Find out what pleases the Lord. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. Okay, so what am I talking about? I'm talking about the culture that we're living in today. The culture and the environment of fear, the environment of anxiety, the environment of fear-mongering that's going on out there. Okay, so I want to expose the deeds of darkness. Some might say, well, just let sleeping dogs lie. Don't get anybody mad. Don't be like that Pastor Artur Pawlowski. You don't want to be taken down and handcuffed and thrown in prison. Just leave them quiet, okay? Well, I'm not going to do that, because he says here, expose the lies. And how do you do it? You do it by being light, by sharing truth. And that's what I'm sharing now. Okay? So, truth number one. The death rates in 2020, all the way back to the death rates in 2020 are the same as 2019, 18, 17, and 16. They vary a little bit, but they're generally the same. So why are they calling this a pandemic? Why are they calling this some kind of an extraordinary pandemic that's going on, and that the people are not dying in the streets? This is not the Spanish flu. That's the point of this. The death rates are the same. So why is this a pandemic? Why is this on the news every night? Why do we hear about cases, cases, cases? I'm going to talk about cases. Well, let me talk about it right now while I brought it up. I'm going to put up a graph here. Cases, when they talk about cases, cases do not mean sick people. Okay, when we used to talk about cases, we used to think of them as sick people. This person has a case of cancer. They're sick. When they talk about cases nowadays, it's not sick people. They have no symptoms. By the way, if you want to go to jccf.ca, you'll get this information that I'm sharing with you here right now. Okay, truth number 3, I guess. Truth number 3 is that 99.7% of people recover from COVID after they get it. So why is this an unusually deadly killer, as they're calling it, and sounding the alarms and putting up all of these mandates and mandating vaccines and all of the rest of it? If 99.7% of people recover from it, why is everybody running around with their hair on fire, especially the politicians and the news media? Okay, number four. People who are 69 years of age and younger are generally not affected. Yes, some are younger. It's those who are older than that, 70 and up, and especially those who are in their 80s with other comorbidities. Okay, cancer, lung disease, etc., emphysema. Most people recover from it. Is it an unusually deadly killer? So why are they putting the thumb screws on people to get a vaccine? Why are they not allowing unvaccinated people to go on airplanes and whatever, restaurants here in BC, and so on and so forth? Okay, why is it that the lockdown measures are getting worse? I mean, I've just skimmed the surface. Go to jccf.ca, Justice Center for Constitutional Freedom. You got all kinds of information. What I'm sharing with you now, okay, whether you like it or not, these are government statistics. You can find this stuff out. You won't hear this on the news. This is why I'm taking the time to do this. This is real. This is true. In 2005, I had a dream. 2005. So what's that? 16 years ago. I had a dream, and in the dream, there were tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of troops, and they were Chinese troops, and they were marching in lockstep, fully armed, the shiny helmets, the whole thing. I mean, it was very sobering. It was very intimidating. It was very intense. There were a few other nationalities mixed in with them, but it was the Chinese that were marching. I don't know where they were in the dream, but it was so real. I woke up, man. I was terrified. I was honestly really, really scared when I woke up. Go back 3 days ago, I had another dream. I was in a building with a bunch of other Christians, and there was a war going on outside, and you could hear it. I stepped outside to see what was going on, and there was a fighter plane coming down. It was coming right at me. So I ran across the field a little bit, and there was a building there, and I hid behind the building, arms up against it, and I was protecting myself and waiting for the plane to go by. And as I was waiting for the fighter plane, the kind that shoot, to go by, I was going to go to the other side of it, but I could hear other people running by me, other men. And so I thought they were my friends until I got to the other side of the building so that the plane couldn't see me, the fighter jet. And then I noticed these guys, and they were all running by me, and were all in uniforms, and they all had rifles or weapons, and they were all Asian. And nobody saw me. Nobody saw me. God is going to protect you. God is going to hide you. God is Psalm 91, all right? God is our refuge. And so what I'm saying is that we need to see danger, okay? And we're seeing it politically here in our country. We need to see danger, and we need to take measures to protect ourselves against the danger. Okay, so let's finish up here. I'm just going to read this real quick. Verse 15 says, "Be very, very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity." Okay? People are open to the gospel like never before. I've got stories, I don't have time, but people are listening. My clients, they're very sensitive, they're very afraid, and so they want, I tell them, for example, this is what I mean. I tell them, after they share, I say, you know what, I'm praying for you. Okay, I'm not preaching, I'm just saying, I'm praying for you. And they really appreciate it. They go, oh man, that is so nice. And they get all excited about that. It really touches their heart. Simple. Okay, make the most of every opportunity, because why? Because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Again, ask the Lord. These are days where we really need to listen to the shepherd. Okay, we can hear his voice, the Bible says. Understand what it is. Get into the word. That's his will. But understand the Spirit of God and what he's telling you to do in these days, because these are dark days. He goes on, he says, be filled with the Spirit. Don't get drunk on wine. Be filled with the Spirit, and then sing psalms, hymns, spiritual songs to one another, and give thanks. A good example of that is Jehoshaphat, man. When they went out as a team, as a group, as a country, as they went out, as the Christians got together and they prayed together. In this case, it was the nation of Israel. As they got together and Jehoshaphat went out, they put the singers in front and people worshiped the Lord, and they didn't even have to fight. They didn't need guns. All right? God went before them. The armies of Moab and Ammon were destroyed as a result of just resting in God, worshiping Him, and the victory was won. Okay, so we need to be wise. We need to prepare when we see danger ahead. If we do nothing, if we say, well, we just need to read our Bible and pray and do nothing, and don't get involved in all that crazy stuff. Don't be making videos like Rob there, and because they're going to get him and blah, blah, blah. No, we need to tell the truth about what's going on. You need to find out for yourself. Go to jccf.ca and you'll find out a lot of truth that you're never going to hear anywhere else. All right, I got to go, so take care. Bye-bye.